Tonight on Molson That's Hockey, the postgame edition. Two of the league's hottest teams face off on the NHL on TSN. Gretzky says no one will wear Stevie Y's number 19 on the Canadian Olympic team. The Leafs and Sens battle the injury bug. And Brent Sutter faces a tough task in leading his juniors to repeat gold in 2006.
Hey everybody, welcome to Molson That's Hockey, the post-game edition along with Steve Simmons. I'm Gino Reda. It is great to have you along with us. Hope you enjoyed the hockey game. And Steve, this game gave us everything that was promised going into it.
You know, everybody all season long was expecting this Buffalo Sabres team to fall apart. What Lindy Ruff has done with this team is just so impressive. I keep figuring out what is going on with this team. You think to yourself, how are they winning games? And they do it night after night after night.
How did they win this game? Let's take a look at the highlights. Stars visiting the Sabres. Buffalo strikes early, just 2:58 in. Maxim Afinogenov with some nifty stick handling. Marty Turco goes down. He goes up for his sixth, and it's 1-0 for the Sabres, giving Martin Biron an early lead. Biron going for his 11th straight win, something Dominic Hasek could not do in a Sabres uniform, and he's tested immediately. Brendan Morrow sprung loose. Biron shuts the door. Not once, but twice. 1-0 Sabres after 20 minutes. Second period, some pretty passing. Leaves Derek Roy with an open cage. His third of the season makes it 2-0 for Buffalo. Now 3-1 Buffalo. Stu Barnes centers for Steve Ott, who redirects it right over Biron's shoulder. His second, just like that, Dallas is back in it, down 3-2 after two. Third period, Sabres restore the two-goal lead as Kodalik's shot trickles through Turco. Daniel Briere pounces on it for his 13th, made it 4-2 Sabres. Biron called upon to hold the fort.
Here's a chance. Modano in. Biron, two big stops. That's the goaltending Buffalo's got from Marty Biron in the last 11 games. Wow.
Martin Biron wins his 11th straight game. The Sabres go on to defeat the visiting Dallas Stars, who had been on quite a tear of their own by a final score of 4-3.
The top score on the Buffalo Sabres is 92nd in the National Hockey League. 9 different players get points tonight. That's what Lindy Ruff's getting from this team.
It really is pretty incredible when you think about the franchises that they built in Buffalo, considering the brutal start that they had. Lindy Ruff was trying to protect his players, did a great job with it. How do you explain what's going on in Buffalo?
Well, you can't explain it. I mean, look at Marty Biron. Just take his story. The guy starts the year in the press box. Everyone talks about him as trade bait. Now, 11 in a row. The better goalie isn't even playing with the Buffalo Sabres, and this team does nothing but win.
How about the speed on this Buffalo Sabres team? They have really been able to utilize this to their advantage.
You know, everyone keeps talking about how they drafted. People forget. Darcy Regier traded for almost half this roster, just accumulated all kinds of speed, not knowing what the new NHL was going to be like. He got lucky. He got smart all at the same time.
And Biron took advantage of his team's speed. He made 32 stops in this one as the Buffalo Sabres go on to defeat the Dallas Stars. All right. So the Buffalo Sabres now on the road in the last month, 12-1-1, 7-0 on the road, 12-1-1 in the last month, and on the power play, their special teams have been outstanding. 22% effectiveness.
Go back to coaching. Look at the Ottawa Senators' talent. Look at the Buffalo Sabres' talent. Almost the identical power play numbers. Coaching, power play, penalty kill, face-offs, little things. This team does all the little things right.
All right, the Stars and the Sabres only game of the day, but there's lots of news to tell you about. Islanders forward Jason Blake was released from hospital earlier today, just hours after crashing headfirst into the boards last night against Minnesota. He was diagnosed with a mild concussion, but has no serious neck or back injuries. He has complete feeling in all of his extremities, but he'll miss New York's next game that's coming up on Saturday. Wayne Gretzky has said that in Steve Yzerman's absence, no Canadian player will wear number 19 this February at the Winter Olympics. Gretzky actually suggested the number should be retired instead. 4 NHLers who might play for Team Canada this winter wear number 19. The Kings' Jeremy Roenick has been promoted to LA's top line, but that doesn't mean he's a shoo-in for the U.S. Olympic team. JR doesn't expect to be asked to go, but he bristled at an online story that said he doesn't deserve a spot on the team. Roenick, who turns 36 next month, said, and I quote, "What a jerk that author is. He should come into our dressing room. He would give me a little more respect for playing the 17 years he gave me here. I'll kick him right in the, well, I'll kick him," is exactly what he's saying. JR is just the king of quotes.
You know, he can't help himself anymore. I think he's like the comedian that gets up. Now he just has to keep going and going and going. He knows he wasn't going to the Olympic team. He knows he wasn't being picked. You know, why pick the fight now?
Okay, nice gesture, Wayne Gretzky, to suggest that they don't use number 17 at these Winter Olympic Games. Number 19, rather. I understand that. But to suggest that they retire the 19 jersey? Are we going to start retiring 99 and 66 and number 4? I mean, you'll have to retire every jersey.
There is no reason to retire any jerseys with the Canada sweater. If you're going to, the only one to do it to is 19, Paul Henderson's number, not Steve Yzerman's number, for scoring the most important goals in Canadian international history.
So, yes, it is a very nice gesture. They may not use 19 this time around, but I don't think we're exactly going to retire it. All right, let's look ahead and tell you that coming up on our next edition of Molson That's Hockey, we're back at our regular time slot at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, as we'll take a look at Day 4 of the Junior Selection Camp from Vancouver. The cuts should be underway. We should have some cuts to tell you about tomorrow on that show.
They've gone from the blue and white to the black and blue. We update the Leafs injury situation. Bob McKenzie, Pierre Maguire, and Gord Miller join us from junior camp in Vancouver. And he's the man in charge of Canada's junior hopes.
You know, I think he demands that everybody fall into line.
We give you a closer look at Brent Sutter.
Hey, Ed. Check this out. Nice. Think that's a good idea? Why not?
Ice cold Coors Light, the silver bullet.
Wow, that guy has a big gun. Hey, man, if I had a gun like that, it would have love potion bullets. And I'd be a lady killer and shoot ladies with my love. But then, so many ladies would fall in love with me, and I had to fight them off with my sword. And they'd go, "Hi, Dustbowl, please!" And I'd say, "Hey, baby, I'm too busy to steal your heart. I have to steal a car and do a mad flip with it and smash into other cars and go boom, boom, boom."
Wow, all I said, man, was that he had a big gun.
PSP, it has more than big guns.
You know, I just love what you've done with your home theater.
Excuse me, is your restroom this way?
No, actually, right down the hall.
Davey, phone call.
I'm stuffed.
I'm just gonna go ahead.
LG's Plasma and LCD screens feature our XD engine, producing the ultimate viewing experience. They also produce a crowd. When you have amazing picture quality and the size you want, life's good.
The new Acura CSX with F1-inspired paddle shifting.
Molson That's Hockey is brought to you by Molson Canadian and by Robax Platinum, helping you walk away from back pain.
Well, Toronto Maple Leafs are off tonight. As a matter of fact, they're off until Saturday when they'll head to Ottawa. And given the events of the last few days, they'll need a little time to heal. Eric Lindros, for one, will not be able to play on Saturday. John Lewis at practice today and gathered this reaction.
It is frustrating, you know. I always thought that if anything was going to go, it would be something up above the neck.
At least Eric Lindros has a sense of humor about his wrist injury, because for now, horseplay is all he can do in practice. Until his permanent brace arrives and he can test his wrist stability in shooting drills, there's no telling whether he'll be out for only Saturday's game or much longer.
Hopefully things will be obviously quicker than that, and this support works real well, and this brace is a bit of a miracle for me, so see what happens.
If it's doing the job and there's no flex and not an ability to do the things he needs to do, then I would guess that he'll be out till it gets better.
It's not real strong, and it's going to take some help and some time, but we'll get through this and get ready to go again.
Ed Belfour apparently wanted to practice Wednesday afternoon, but was ordered to rest by the Leafs training staff. Despite the unpredictability of a groin injury, the Eagle appears to be on schedule to play Saturday with 2 more days of practice to prepare.
You have to practice like any artist, so to speak. if you're going to play piano, then you can't take 2 weeks off. You got to be on it every day. So I'm expecting that he'll practice, and then if he doesn't practice tomorrow, then we'll have to think about who starts him.
Leafs practice looked more like an episode of Survivor as several other regulars went missing. Matt Sundin had a follow-up eye appointment. Darcy Tucker and Nick Antropov were resting various bumps and bruises, and Ty Domi was having his back reassessed after crashing heavily into the boards Monday night against Anaheim. John Liu, TSN, Toronto.
That is a long lineup in the Toronto Maple Leafs Trainers Clinic right now. Let's talk specifically about Eric Lindros. And I thought the interesting thing with the Toronto Maple Leafs, Steve, is you get the sense that they elevate the rest of the game when they lose some of the big guns in their lineup.
You know, it's been the trademark of Pat Quinn's teams with the Leafs. The more guys hurt, and the more important guys hurt, the better the team seems to play. Now, Lindros goes out. A real opportunity for Kyle Wellwood to come in, and he's played very well when he's played. In this case, he gets a little more ice time, probably a little more offensive wingers to play with him. Same with Matt Sundin, who they really need. They need Sundin to come up, play more minutes, and play more effectively.
They certainly need Sundin to do exactly that. All right, stay with us. Still lots more to come in this edition of Molson That's Hockey.
He's the driving force behind Canada's junior team.
I know that I'm a perfectionist, and I like our team to be perfect.
We put the spotlight on Brent Sutter. And we'll have all the latest from the Board of Governors meeting in Arizona.
Closed captioning of this TSN program is brought to you in part by McDonald's Quarter Pounder with Cheese, made with 100% pure Canadian beef. I'm loving it.
You know, I just love what you've done with your home.
Excuse me, is your restroom this way?
No, actually, right down the hall.
TV, phone call.
I'm stuffed.
I'm just gonna go ahead.
LG's plasma and LCD screens feature our XD engine, producing the ultimate viewing experience. They also produce a crowd. When you have amazing picture quality and the size you want, life's good.
This is titanium, and only Remington can deliver it in their revolutionary titanium shaving system, designed for a shave that's incredibly close and comfortable. Remington Titanium. It could just make all other shavers obsolete.
Man, these graphics are nuts. Yeah, they got more flavor than a pistachio. No doubt. I'd whip you head to head. What? Squirrel, please. You have about as much skills as a chipmunk. Yo, mama's a chipmunk. Oh, no. He got denied just like you get denied by the ladies. Shoot, if I had a ship like that, the girls would be all over me like salt on a peanut. Hells yeah. Hells yeah.
TSP. Hells yeah.
I give you Kong!
Rolling Stone is calling King Kong the jaw-dropping, eye-popping, heart-stopping epic we've been waiting for all year. It's a masterpiece. 2 thumbs way up for King Kong. Now playing in theaters everywhere.
You know, I just love what you've done with your home.
Excuse me, is your restroom this way?
No, actually, right down the hall.
TV, phone call.
I'm stuffed.
I'm just gonna go ahead.
LG's plasma and LCD screens feature our XD engine, producing the ultimate viewing experience. They also produce a crowd. When you have amazing picture quality and the size you want, life's good.
Gino Reda's clothing, provided by Copley.
The best under 20-year-old players in the entire world will gather in Vancouver this Christmas to challenge for the World Junior title. Defending the gold, not going to be easy for Canada. They'll be facing some stiff competition. The Canadian Junior Selection Camp continues in Vancouver today. 34 players battling for one of 22 spots on the final roster. Gord Miller now joins us live from the camp in Vancouver. And Gord, the second of the Interswad games is going on just a few feet from where you're standing right now. What's the latest?
Well, it's 5-1 in favor of the white team, Gino, which wouldn't mean anything to anyone at home, but it does mean something if you're watching Jonathan Taves, the outstanding young player from the University of North Dakota. He's got a pair of goals, and Andrew Cogliano from the University of Michigan has one as well. So interesting development in terms of those two guys who look to be part of the attack offensively for Canada should they make this national junior team. You know, Gino, a lot of talk about the fact that Canada has only one returning player. That's defenseman Cam Barker, but there's another returnee of note, and that is Coach Brent Sutter. In a moment, we'll talk to TSN hockey analysts Pierre McGuire and Bob McKenzie. But first, TSN's Farhan Lalji with more on the Sutter style.
Team Canada or Red Deer, young or old. If Brent Sutter is behind the bench, a few things never change.
I know that I'm a demanding guy, and I know that I'm a perfectionist, and I like our team to be perfect, and not that you're ever going to be, but you strive for that.
A lot of respect for him, and I mean, no one underestimates him, and he's the real deal.
Sutter faces a different set of challenges with this year's edition of Team Canada than he did a year ago. But he doesn't plan to coach this team any different going into the tournament, and he won't lower the expectations.
Underdog or no underdog, it's irrelevant to me. You don't have the experience you may have had last year, but you know, you're still dealing with people. You're still trying to give them direction and leadership.
Providing leadership means making decisions, something Sutter has never been afraid to do, be it during a game, with personnel, or the overall direction of the team.
He has an open mind about things, but once he makes up his mind that this is the way it's going to be, you know, I think he demands that everybody fall into line.
I'll never make a quick decision on something without thinking it through, and but I do know what you need as far as an individual and your commitment.
Sutter decided to cancel Wednesday morning's practice and give his team some rest. Instead, he and his assistants took to the ice and worked out the goaltenders. Last year, he tried a similar approach one morning in Grand Forks, which yielded some painful results.
I had pulled a hamstring last year, and we were doing that. But my two assistant coaches last year, they were good players. And I had to try to keep up.
Last year we had an incident. He was out fooling around on the ice and ended up with a pulled hamstring, and in the trainer's room moaning in agony and with a black and blue leg. So we've told him to go easy this year.
With the success he's had at the junior level, it is widely assumed that Sutter will wind up in the NHL as a head coach sooner than later. Sutter doesn't see it that way. He says his goal was to play in the NHL, not to coach there, and he loves what he's doing now. And any potential NHL situation would have to knock his socks off for him to even consider it. Farhan Lalji, TSN.
Thanks, Farhan. Back here as promised with TSN hockey analyst Bob McKenzie and Pierre Maguire. Coaching does make a difference, and for those who are new to Camp Sutter, they got an early initiation, Pierre, when they got off the plane here in Vancouver.
Well, a lot's going to be made of the fact that Brent Sutter went to the players and said, I want you all to get your hair cut because I want to see some ears. Well, quite frankly, he's trying to make a subtle message comes home to everybody, and that is he wants everybody to know who the boss of this team is. Now the players know who the boss of this team is. It's Brent Sutter. There's no rhyme or reason to anybody else being the boss but him, and the players are buying a Bob. I like guys that were well-trained. He was well-trained by Al Arbor. He knows what it takes to win a Stanley Cup. He knows what it takes to win a World Junior, and he's the right guy for the job.
Well, Sutter did a great job of coaching this edition of Team Canada last year. However, it was a much different team. That was a powerhouse. That was arguably the most dominant team Canada's ever put together. This year, the United States and the Russians are probably the co-favorites for gold, and Canada has its work cut out for it. So I think Brent Sutter, right from the get-go, as soon as the kids landed, wanted to establish that he was the boss, that it was going to be much different, and that he knows that if they're going to buy into the little things like getting a haircut, which is something he believes in, then they have to do that to be able to buy into the big things, and that is the challenge on the ice.
All right, the challenge for Canada starts from the goal out. There's a lot of questions about who will be in goal for Canada. And tonight, the picture gets a little muddy.
Well, the plot does thicken. Now, last night, Justin Pogge, Toronto Maple Leaf prospect, was very good, handled the puck extremely well, and he's had a great year, so he's in good shape. Devin Dubnyk, on the other hand, the Edmonton Oilers first-round pick, he had a tough night. So now we come into this game, and we see Carey Price at one end, the 5th overall pick of the Montreal Canadiens, and we see Julian Ellis from the Shawinigan Cataracts of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League at the other end. Now, Ellis has had the better of the year so far, but in this particular game, Ellis got lit up early. A couple of really questionable goals. He's given up 5 so far in this game. Carey Price, on the other hand, has given up 1 goal that had a little bit of an odor to it, but overall has been the better of the 2 goaltenders tonight. So it's very interesting coming in. Price needs to outplay Ellis because Ellis has been outplaying Price over the course of the season.
Carey Price has only faced 12 shots so far in this game, and he's only faced 3 quality scoring chances. On the other hand, Ellis has faced a barrage of shots, 19, but about 10 quality scoring chances. That's been a big problem so far for Ellis. But, you know, at the end of the day, Justin Pogge's a guy that I'm really looking forward to watching play. I think he's got the mettle to be a starting goalie for this
Well, they
team.
better, because I'll tell you what, it's goaltending is going to be a crucial factor on this team.
Those guys will face quality scoring chances, it sounds like, when the tournament starts on Boxing Day. Gino?
Well, guys, thanks very much for this. I don't want to keep you away from the hockey game, so you guys go enjoy the game, and we'll carry on with the show. Bob, Pierre, and Gord are all going to be busy on December the 20th, when we bring you pre-tournament action between Canada and the Czech Republic. Then on Boxing Day, 6:30 Eastern Time. Canada drops a puck on the World Junior Hockey Championship with a game against Finland. Well, the NHL Board of Governors is meeting in Scottsdale, Arizona this week. It's the first time they've come together since they gathered to ratify the new CBA back in July. And by all accounts, the news is pretty good.
The clubs are feeling good about the progress that's been made, the fact that there's a good foundation in place, that the fans have responded spectacularly, and I think we're all grateful to have a good working partnership with our players. Some people were predicting that by missing the year, we'd be out of business, and that's certainly not the case. The business has come back very robustly.
It was impressive to hear that type of number projected, and encouraging. You know, we see it every day. We're fortunate to be in the market we're in with the passion and the support we get. We're proud of that, but it's great to see that you know, the league's not only back but thriving.
Well, it's very encouraging. The fans are obviously back. They like the product, and it's good for the players because they truly are our partners now. And if it's good for the owners, it's going to be great for the players, and that's the way it's going to continue to grow.
Back in studio now with Steve Simmons. And Steve, were you surprised by the number? There was all this gloom and doom talk about how painful the NHL is going to be now that they're returning financially, but the number, the target, around $2 billion.
You know, you have to be surprised by the number because nobody expected it to be anywhere near that. You know, when the lockout was going on, everyone said, oh, the NHL is dead, the NHL's gone, the NHL's this, the NHL's that. Well, in Canada, it's way, way, way back. There's still lots of trouble spots, and don't kid yourself in the U.S. There's trouble spots.
Especially Washington.
Washington, Florida. There's places where you're seeing lots of empty seats. But the revenue across the board for everyone, and the players are going to be very happy because they're not going to lose that escrow money.
Yeah,
the players are going to be happy, which is key to Ted Saskin also in this situation.
It certainly is. Dave Randorf will have a complete report from the Board of Governors meetings for us coming up on SportsCenter. Coming up on Friday, we've got more NHL on TSN action. It's the Buffalo Sabres. They're a hot team. We got to cover them. They'll be facing Sidney Crosby and the Penguins on Friday. Back with more after this.
You know, I just love what you've done with your home. Theater.
Excuse me, is your restroom this way?
No, actually, right down the hall.
TV, phone call.
I'm stuffed.
I'm just gonna go ahead.
LG's plasma and LCD screens feature our XD engine, producing the ultimate viewing experience. They also produce a crowd. When you have amazing picture quality in the size you want, life's good.
Rated M for mature. Dead or Alive 4. Coming soon, only for the Xbox 360.
Hands in my pockets, hands in my pocket, hands in my pockets. Hands in my pockets, hands in my pockets, hands in my pockets.
With their high-interest credit cards, banks always have their hand in your pocket. Get them out with Capital One. Great low rates, no annual fees, and rewards you can actually use.
What's in your wallet? Hey, keep your head up. It's Don Cherry 17 with the best of the best footage from the 50s to now. We have the best hits, saves, goals, bloopers, and of course, you know my favorite. I also look at the best goalies, yeah, the hardest hitters, and the greatest playoff goals of all time. It's Don Cherry 17, it's the NHL's best of the best. It's in the stores, go out and get it now.
Molson That's Hockey is brought to you by Molson Canadian and by Robax Platinum, helping you walk away from back pain.
Back now with Steve Simmons. And Steve, we were just hearing from Brent Sutter and finding out what a type of coach he is. You got a history with him.
I go way back. Brent Sutter, 1979-80, was the captain of the Red Deer Rustlers, Alberta Junior Hockey League, won the Canadian Centennial Cup championships, went from there, captained the Lethbridge Broncos, went to the Memorial Cup, went from Lethbridge to the New York Islanders, played for Al Arbor, won the Stanley Cup with the Island. This guy understands winning.
He certainly does, and he certainly understood it in last year's World Junior Hockey Championship. Now he's trying to defend. Hey, that's it. We're out of time.